Jace or NeoQor, thanks for joining us. If there's any resolution or buffering problems, you can thank the Australian government for our world-class high-speed internet. You should try porn, mate. It's fucking infuriating. How are you, mate? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just woke up a little while ago, and like I said, I got my juice, nice strong juice.
Fermented oranges,
Ooh.
nice. Look, we'll jump straight in. Who are you? Why are you up at fucking stupid o'clock, answering dumb questions by me?
Well, I want to. I guess I really have this overpowering urge to share the gospel of the girth. And no, but really, I don't know. Like some Australian dude hit me up and was just like, "Oh, do you want to answer some questions on my motherfucking show?" And I was like, "Okay, sure, okay, why not?"
Spot on
Sounds
translation.
like a fun thing to
That's
do
amazing.
on my day off.
Okay, look, so you're from Texas, I'm led to believe. And look, I'm kind of upset you're not a cowboy. How does a boy from Texas end up DJing and producing happy hardcore?
Well, one day I got tired of like yodeling walking through Walmart, so you know, no, but I mean, I I grew up like listening to like dance music on the radio. Believe it or not, we actually had a dance station here, and it was like basically your like EDM 2000s EDM starter kit. Like you had your Sandstorm, your Cascada, all that kind of stuff. And I got into that, and I'd always like been into electronic music, but then like over time, as I like discovered hardcore and hardstyle through like I discovered like hardcore through like DDR and stuff. I don't know. I'd seen people DJ and I was like, this looks cool. This looks like a lot of fun. I should do this. And then I like never did it until I was in like high school. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do it.
Okay, so how old are
So
you now?
here we are. I'm 23.
23. So, okay, so when did you start? 17,
When
18?
I was Yeah, I started DJing when I was 17, and
Okay.
then I was no, oh yeah, no, no, no. Okay, yeah, I was 17 when I started DJing, and then I started producing the following year, like a few months after that. Like I'd been DJing for like I think about 5 6 months, and then I started producing.
Okay. So you and the little lady, Miss Kitty Chan, are quite the power couple. In fact, she sings on the majority of your vocal productions. So a question
Mhm.
that'll either get you laid or sleeping on the couch. Is she a better singer or a better girlfriend?
Well, um, I'd have to say, I mean, she would have to be a better girlfriend. Otherwise, I probably would. We probably wouldn't be getting married. I mean, you gotta be like just like I hope I'm a better boyfriend than a better, than a producer. So,
Fair enough. So you guys have got like an
yeah,
engagement event coming up, don't you?
yeah, we do, and I've got flyers for it as well.
Oh, well, look, tell
I
us a
can
bit
write
about it.
you.
Hold it up. I was
Oh
going to ask a
yeah,
little bit later,
so
but go for it.
it's Love and Lasers. We're basically we're getting married. The actual like wedding itself is going to be very very basic, not really like too crazy big. We talked about this for a while. We were like, you know what? We just want to let's throw a fucking rave, like to celebrate, you know. So that's the main thing
Do
that
you, do you
we're
have a
we're
do you
getting
have a
married.
wedding MC or a rave MC or do you need both?
Nope. It'll probably. I mean, it, it'll more than likely be I think Donnie, since he usually because and
Oh, true.
most of our three this is a 303 event. This is a 303 event, so usually when we have events, he's usually the one who like gets up and makes announcements and stuff, and like gets on and does all that kind of stuff. Although if you want to, I don't know. I mean,
Okay, look,
our
you
lineups are pretty
mentioned
much booked already, but
you mentioned the 303 family. So you guys are part of
yeah,
the 303 Texas chapter, or is it the Dallas chapter?
that's Texas chapter.
Okay, cool. All right, look, talk us about that. I mean, we interviewed Hartshorn on I think episode 2 or episode 3, and he spoke about how
Yeah.
it started in Denver. And talk to us about what you guys have done there and what the scene is like in Texas.
So yeah, so before it was us, before we did the Texas chapter, there was already a crew throwing hardcore shows known as Big Wiener Presents, and that I don't know, you may or may not know him, Brad. He also goes by Moonstruck Red,
Yep, yep.
and he and his wife Mia were throwing shows. They were for the most part fairly like small local shows, but they also booked locals for other like productions where like it was a bigger promotion company doing the headliners, and then they would book like local support. Um, but they were the main guys like doing hardcore shows when I like started like going to raves. Of course, there were a few others, but yeah, I mean the hard dance raves here, believe it or not, at least as far as like underground stuff, like grassroots kind of stuff, is very kind of far and few and far between. There are a few big like hard style shows where like Disco Donnie or like Night Culture, like some of the big promoters over here, will bring down like Lady Faith, or Coon, or like we've even had Anger Fist down here a couple of times. Um,
Just
and
between you and me, the name Coon is fucking hilarious.
yeah, I
To
was
anyone
like
outside of
when I
like
first saw
whatever random Eastern European country he's from. Anyway, continue,
yeah, I never
continue.
really understood that myself. But yeah, no. So we we kind of picked up the torch from them. They Brad and Mia have since retired for the time being from throwing shows. They just did their final show. Final show. I don't know. They may or may not come back. I'm not sure. I
Was
can't
that the
really
one
speak
with
on that. But
Searle?
yes, that was Candy Mountain. That was yeah, it was Searle, Jiminy Cricket, Ian K. Um, and then after that show, we kind of it's basically us now doing hardcore shows. There's really not anybody else. There's a bunch of techno and house in Dallas and bass and
Yes.
everything else. I mean, you can find everything around
Yeah.
here. But as far as hardcore, it's pretty much us. Um,
Okay. So look, what other musical influences did you have like as a kid? What did baby NeoQor rock out to back in his day?
well, I mentioned the dance station that I listened to when I was really young. That was what got me started. It was Fatboy Slim, like Darude, Cascada. The Crystal Method was like a huge like influence on me, like as a kid, because that was like the first like music where I was like, this is so cool. Like the sounds are like so unique. I've never heard anything like this before. It sounds like everything sounds like a fight scene out of the Matrix. Like it's super super badass. And then after that, I kind of really didn't really listen to a lot of electronic music for several years. I was like a huge metalhead all through like middle school, and yeah, like black metal, death metal. I still
Nice.
listen to some metal now, and yeah, and I guess that's kind of the reason why I love like the harder stuff now too, because you know it. I love just hard, fast driving, aggressive music, and I got back into like hard, like hands up, hard trance, hard dance, and then hard style, and then hardcore again back in high school. And I also play DDR too. I should preface it with that. So like DDR, In the Groove, all the rhythm games that I play is where I got a lot of my like hardcore, like happy hardcore and like Eurobeat and like that kind of cheesy stuff. I got a lot of it from there, and that's also been like a major influence on me. Of course, Searle too. Like Searle is, I mean, he is. I look up to him I look up to him a lot, and his production style and the fact that he's so unique in his style and that he has a sound that like no one else can really totally replicate is like it's a huge inspiration to me. And I kind of strive to find that same, to get to that same place, to have my own style, and to be my own, cut out my own kind of niche in the scene.
Okay.
I'm kind of going off topic here, but
No, well, I mean that kind of
but
leads into
no,
one of the other questions that I had, and that was If I was to describe NeoQor music to a happy hardcore noob in 25 words or less, and without the use of the word girthy, how would I
Hit it hard.
how would I go about it?
Well, there's dank, thick, nasty, crunchy. No, no, but for real though. So I guess so when I was listening to electronic music starting out, the stuff that always caught my attention was the stuff that had some sort of like it was either like it always gave me a feeling of something like bigger than myself, you know, like
Mm,
it gives you it elicits feelings of something that you've never experienced before, and a feeling of like newness but also like adventure. I don't know. It's like uplifting and epic and like kind of just fun at the same time. So
yeah,
I
I
mean,
had
my
two of
music
those last weekend as well. They were great. Yeah. Oh no, no, continue.
but yeah. So like music is very like my style is very varied because like I'll make I will make really happy, silly, cheesy shit, and then I'll go on to make like some really serious, angry, dark stuff. But everything that I make, there's always a common theme of it's always hard, it's always fast, and it's always usually very melody driven.
Okay.
Melodies have always been the thing in music that have, for me, it's always made me feel something and inspired me. So melodies are something that I really focus on. Anytime I get an idea for a song, it always starts with the main melody, and I base everything around that.
Is that
So
do you
very
start with a
melody driven.
lead and then work backwards from a lead, or will you go for a say a chord structure?
Usually a lead,
Okay.
because if I have the idea for a lead, then like the chord structure, for me at least, usually just comes naturally with it,
Okay.
and I can put a lead into a I can put a lead into my DAW, and then like I can just bang out like some bass notes that follow the
Bang
chord
out.
progression,
Sorry.
and then just make the chords or the pads in the background just like kind of follow that. And
Yeah.
but yeah, like everything's centered around the melody. So
What's your door of choice?
basically, FL Studio.
Ah, another one of you. All right,
Yeah.
that's fine. Look, our feature track of the month is by yourself and the lovely Kitty Chan. I'll let you do the honor of introducing it, and we'll go check out a quick preview of that track.
Yeah, so this track is entitled Eyes Meet Mine. It's a collaboration between myself and Kitty Chan, and it's probably one of my best productions, I think, so far. So I hope you enjoy it.
Is it girthy?
Oh, God, of course. Of course it is.
All right, enjoy.
Yeah,
And we're back. Look, well done first and foremost. I've said this to a few people. Your sound is like the best of the early 2000s. Like pretty much, in
oh,
my
thank you.
opinion, the golden age of happy hardcore. So, look again. Well done. So is that out at the moment? That track is that
Hmm.
out through Future State or?
No, it's actually I've been releasing tracks independently as well.
Okay.
My own label is called Core Values. That's
Oh.
QOR Values, and
I didn't do my
it's pretty much.
research. I should have known this.
Oh no,
Poor
you're good, man.
journalistic efforts.
Dude, no, it's fine because really, I don't have a page for it or a logo for it or anything. I started releasing stuff independently, and they were like, "We need a name for your label. Like, what are you releasing this under?" I was like, "Oh, this." Like, I'd had an idea for a label name already, and so I've just been using that name. It's kind of like what Searle does with EMFA. Like, it's not like a label. It's like a name that he's using to release
Yeah.
mostly his stuff and remixes of his stuff. Um, so I've been doing a lot of independent stuff. So that track is available on it's on Google Play, Amazon, iTunes, Spotify. I mean, it's on most major platforms, and then it's also available on my website, neoqor.net. So you can go on there and you can buy it directly from there as well.
We'll be putting all the
And
links in the comment section below. I always do that. It's a throwback from Ray William Johnson. Do you remember that dude? That equals 3?
Yeah.
Would it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Orphan Tears.
Okay, so what's next from NeoQor in terms of gigs, tracks, events? We've already spoken about Love and Lasers. What's next?
So, so tracks, I've got another one with Kitty that I'm coming out with probably later this year. I'm working on it right now. It's another big league kind of vocal slammer, except this one is not quite as happy as Eyes Meet Mine. It's a lot more serious, a little more dark, emotional, sad kind of. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm working on some stuff. I'm working on some other stuff as well, a few remixes. I've got a track. I'm remixing Ganar and Galaxy Kids Get Crunk. I'm making a Gabba remix of that.
Oh.
I've got a collab in the works with Ken Masters of Future State, Freeform, a little Freeform dealio. We've been kind of going back and forth on that every so often. And as far as events, I mean, I don't really know how much I can announce because.
Oh, you're gonna be one of those guys. Oh, I've got an announcement about something I'm not allowed to talk about.
Trust me, no, I wish I could. But I can say KomoriCon in Portland. I'll be playing that. I'll be playing back to back with Darmuk at that show. So it's a big ass anime convention. I think Flapjack's going to be there. Jiminy Cricket's going to be there. Remnant, the guy who runs KomoriCon, will I think also be playing.
They basically need an Australian MC. I've decided.
Yeah, no.
Talk to your people.
Yeah,
hook a bloke up.
Slide into the DM.
No. So look, we've got plenty to look forward to. Thank you again, NeoQor, for taking the time out to chat to us, man. Again, the stupid o'clock both here and there, but we managed. Thank you again so much for coming on.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's a pleasure.
Say girthy one more time.
Girthy.
See you, man.